Hey, look, Monday morning, it's Tom and an Andrew-flavoured one. Happy Monday, sir.
Happy Monday, how are you? And happy birthday for yesterday, young man. Happy birthday.
Stuff it. Thanks very much, mate. Without spoiling the Royal Rumble, can you sum up the Women's Rumble in a noise? And the Men's Rumble? Excellent. No spoilers. Here is your wrestling news. Could a top SmackDown star be leaving after WrestleMania 37? An absent star has been trolling us fans with a Royal Rumble 2021 appearance. And we've got an update on the next WWE video game. Prepare to clip through the floor in a minute. We start with a guy who's been featured fairly prominently on SmackDown over the past couple of weeks, but after WrestleMania, maybe they're no more. Who are we talking about, Andrew?
We are, unfortunately, Tom, talking about my other baldy brother, Cesaro.
Oh. So what's the score? What's the story with Cesaro? Wrestling Inc. broke this yesterday, didn't they?
So Wrestling Inc. They've reported that Cesaro's contract with WWE expires after WrestleMania 37. As you were saying before, Cesaro, he's on SmackDown. He recently lost a match last Friday against it was a tag team match, Tom, and he lost it to Big E, Daniel Bryan, and Shinsuke, and he was teaming with AJ Styles and his good old NXT buddy Sami Zayn, where they had fantastic matches in NXT. But this is a sad one because I feel like recently as well, Cesaro kind of had little flurries. He was winning his matches. I think he got a win on Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler. And like you see him get these little bits, and then he kind of just like peters out a little bit again. And I feel bad for him, really.
Cesaro is very much the embodiment of untapped potential in WWE. He's one of these people that gets brought up in conversation so often. Ever since discussions were had about how wrestlers have to grab the brass ring, Cesaro is one of those that every time he gets in the ring, he proves why he should be in that top position. And nothing ever seems to come of it. And so in a lot of times with circumstances like this where contracts are due to come up, part of you would go, okay, they'll probably re-sign and crack on. But you know what? I think someone like Cesaro, whilst he's been featured very well over the last few weeks and such, might even want to consider his options at this point. A guy who's been wrestling for quite a long time may want to, after a long stay within WWE, maybe spread his wings a little bit.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. As you were saying, untapped potential. It would be sad to see him go. I don't know what would happen. Maybe even he could potentially sign with NXT UK, because I think there's so many potentially good matches there for him to have with like Walter and stuff. How good would that be? So
good. I smiled when you said that because I remember he turned up in NXT UK just the once.
He did.
And it was just like, that works. This suits you. Do that. We could pitch ideas forever for Cesaro, and I don't know how many of them will get done, to be honest with you. but fingers crossed, whatever Cesaro chooses, it's going to be for the best for him. One star who will be potentially making a little comeback following WrestleMania is one that was teasing a return last night, trolling us wrestling-type folk. What's going on, Jack? Andrew,
Jack.
Sorry.
Whoa, sorry.
I trolled you there. Trolled you there.
I'll put this over the headphones.
Yay!
It's me. It's Jack.
Get on a bus, lad. Get on a bus. Jack Drew.
But let me tell you, Tom, it seems as though I, Jack G. King, my favourite wrestler of all time, it seems as though Becky Lynch has been teasing everybody. She put out a tweet of some curtains. Obviously, the big thing about the Royal Rumble is who's coming out from behind the curtains this time. And she put out a tweet of some curtains, and then WWE responded on Twitter saying, "Does this mean what we think it means?" I emoji, and Becky Lynch then replied, "Oh no, my bad. I just thought it was a really nice picture of a curtain."
Oh.
No.
You troublemaker. Yeah, that just stuff like that. I love when Becky Lynch does that because it's that time. Royal Rumble's a bit like transfer deadline day. It just in the sense that you can have some fun online and just poke the bear a little bit, and
Yeah.
Becky certainly did that. Dave on Wrestling Observer has suggested that she is on her way back, saying, Dave says, and I quote, "She's on her way back, but I was told not the Royal Rumble, but who knows?" So clear as a whistle from Dave Meltzer there, obviously. Is it too soon? Like, we'd like Becky. Obviously, we want Becky back, don't we? And Jack, we want Becky back, but at the same time, you kind of go, you've just had a little one. Just chill.
Yeah.
You're fine. Just enjoy being a man for a bit. You're all good. We're cracking on.
I agree. You know, that I think that's more important than anything. Oh, it's me. Sorry, it's Andrew. I'm back again. I agree, but then like at the same time, like obviously Vince he wants his big draws, he wants his money and things like that, and I can imagine. Obviously, I've never had a child before, Tom. I can tell you that, but
Are you sure?
But I do. I promise.
Oh.
But part of me feels like maybe she does want to get back straight into it again. You know, maybe she does want to. Maybe she has been missing it. But then, obviously, I guess having a child kind of changes your perception of things as well. So, but I would like to see her back. I would. But take your time. Come back when you're ready and enjoy this newly found parenthood.
Like you say, the McMahons would be keen to have a top draw back in the company. But would the McMahons be keen to see WrestleMania continue as a 2-night endeavor? This is something they did last year in a response to the pandemic that suddenly took WrestleMania out of Raymond James and stuck it in the Performance Center. They ran it over 2 nights instead. As a fan, I prefer that. Having, you know, compared to previous WrestleMania, which have been 7 hours long, and sort of still being, I seem to remember for WrestleMania, I think it might be 35, getting a text. I was out watching it at a watch party, and I had a text off my good lady saying good morning, and I had a pint in my hand. I went, "It's still going on. We've not finished yet. It's still happening. I'll be home in a bit." So I'm, for one, liking this. But what do the McMahons feel about a 2-night WrestleMania? Is this going to be a permanent thing, Andrew?
So let me tell you. So Stephanie McMahon, she was talking to TV Insider about WrestleMania remaining as 2 nights. And she said, "We want to maximize the value. The 2 nights are unique to the times. We have plans to go back to 1 night for future WrestleMania events. But of course, we will see what happens this year. We want to deliver the best possible value we can for our fans who are hopefully able to attend and for those watching all around the world." So, yeah, it sounds like see what happens. Maybe carry on with 2 nights and see what happens there. But it sounds like we are also going to get one big WrestleMania event again, just on 1 long night. But personally, I would like it to stay 2 nights. It's more easily digestible. You don't get burnt out. That's one of the things. WrestleMania is supposed to be the biggest wrestling show of the year, and it gets to a certain point, and then I personally feel like you kind of just get burnt out a little bit on it when you should really be celebrating it more than anything, you know?
Absolutely. Celebrations in the New Japan camp over this weekend. Jon Moxley making his return to New Japan Pro Wrestling, sizing up Kenta. Looks like we're getting a clash between those two where they're just going to rip shreds off one another. Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio has given us a few more details about the Jon Moxley return to New Japan that we saw over the weekend, hasn't he, Andrew?
It has indeed. So Dave Meltzer was saying the one thing is that had to have taped in December because Phantasmo is in Japan right now. He hasn't left to quarantine. The latest he could have left was December 20th, so he hasn't left. So this has been in the can for a while, which is kind of a surprise.
So they've had this film, this Jon Moxley bit for New Japan, for Strong. They've had this bit filmed for a while, and they've just very quietly sat on it. This is the thing that you can do when you don't have a live crowd there, isn't it? You can you can keep these things top secret, as top secret as you possibly can, without dickheads on YouTube channels telling you about it all. But did you catch the Moxley Kenta thing? And is it something that you're excited to see?
I haven't caught it yet, but it is something I'd like to see because those two boys don't half go hard, and those two boys together Oh my goodness, I think it's gonna be pretty brutal. But I felt like this kind of makes sense as well. Obviously, with the pandemic going on and Moxley in AEW, and then you've got Renee who's pregnant as well. Like it makes a bit more sense, at least to me, that they film all these things in one big block. Like avoid any sort of dangerous situations with COVID and everything. But yeah, I'm down for this, Tom. Are you down for this?
I am down for this, and we won't have to wait long. February 26th, New Beginning USA. That is where we will see Jon Moxley versus Kenta. Woo-hoo! That is going to be a spicy meatball. And we end on spicy news from the WWE video game camp. The memories of 2K20 still burn very much in our soul. A game that made all wrestling fans go, oh dear. You know, it's great. It's great when wrestling trends worldwide, so non-wrestling people can see it, but not when. No doubt Andrew has put a picture down there of what went wrong with 2K20. Everything. Before I clip through the floor, Andrew, tell us what the latest is with WWE 2K.
Ooh, so from PW Insider, we have representatives of 2K were slated to be, at the Royal Rumble in Tampa, Florida. We were told that WWE talents will be recording voiceovers for the next edition of the game, and there will also be plans for most of, if not the entire roster, to be scanned for future inclusion in upcoming editions of the WWE 2K franchise. Tom.
So it does make sense that why Michael Cole mentioned 2K Battlegrounds on the Royal Rumble pay-per-view last night. No spoilers, but he did just drop in a mention of 2K Battlegrounds is available now. I was like, yeah, it's been available for ages, mate. What? That's like saying buy Super Mario World. Yeah, it's around for ages. Because they're backstage doing all the bits and stuff. And the one thing there's lots I hope for this game. Just graphics that don't glitch. And do you know what? The one thing I'd love from a wrestling video game, right? Commentators that sound like they actually give a damn.
Oh my goodness.
The jaded, fed up voiceovers, they have to go. I'm baffled by some of the takes that they get from wrestlers with the cutscenes in these games. They go, yeah, that's fine, that'll do. Like,
I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna disagree, Tom. I want to go back to SmackDown, like SmackDown 2 days, where it was like all little cut up bits, just Taz going, Kane is the greatest WWE tag team champion of the world. Just like, I want that back again. Give me that.
This single with a manager match is great. Oh, glory days, halcyon days. 2K, if you're listening, just give us that. Funny enough, Taz sounds like that now.
He does.
He's calm. He's turned into his own wrestling game character. Andrew, will you promise me you'll moisturize your head tonight on Twitch?
For you, Tom, I promise I will moisturize my head. I also will promise your good lady to actually get a piece of Lego on this electric mouse tonight.
We were talking about you again last night, so my good lady absolutely hates watching Andrew streams. She loves Andrew, but hates the fact that he advertises a Lego stream and doesn't build any Lego. And I said, hey, we'll watch it tomorrow. He might put one piece on. And she went and she looked down and went, he's a monster.
He's a monster.
You're a monster.
I can't help it. It's not me. It's the people that watch because they're all too nice and kind, and I just want to chat to them. And then I end up just getting off track, you know, and nothing gets done.
Never stop being a monster. Twitch.tv/Cultaholic with Andrew, 6 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time. And you stay safe. Love you, bye.